Welcome to SHALOM CENTRE.
Muribuanji Bonse. My name is Mattia Binacchi. I'm the program coordinator for Africa Call Organization. We are an NGO based in Kanyama compound, west side of Lusaka, and our main focus is the inclusion of children with disability, from education to health, skills development. Our goal is protecting the rights of children with disability and promoting their inclusion in society.
Africa Core came to Kanyama some 20 years ago. We came from Ndola. We were working with John Paul the 23rd. So after some research with my management in Italy, Mr. Italo, he discovered that there is a place in Lusaka, in particular a compound called Kanyama, who needed more services from Africa Core.
Kanyama is one of the densest populated compound and one of the biggest. It starts actually deep down in town up to the far end, that is Lodge 55. To tell exactly when Kanyama came into being, it will be very, very difficult for me. Initially when I came into Kanyama, I found that Kanyama was already existing, but here it was like a farming place. So people now around Lusaka, they wanted to find a place where to build some houses. These spaces were not given by the council; they were given just by the officials from the previous other government. So what used to happen is you just come and say, okay, I want a land like 20 by 20. Then they say, okay, this is your land. You start building.
In the same compound, we have also foreigners coming from different countries like Rwanda, Congo, Tanzania, which are also being accommodated in Kanyama.
Before you can build without any paper, so anyone can come and destroy your house. So now people are going to the central government to ask for the papers so that they can have illegal papers for their houses. There are no more places for people to build. So as a result, people are just building houses in the small places which has remained.
The challenges that we're facing in Kanyama is floods, especially for school-going children, where some don't have gumboots.
You see, it's a plateau, it's very flat, especially here side. I find that because of the rainfall, we have poor drainage system. And then during hot season, we experience dust. Yeah, because we don't have tanks.
Most of the times you find that when we have floods, people don't come to school to learn, and that makes poor performance in classes.
There is no running water. Usually the water we drink from other people who have dug the bores. That's where we get the waters. Or from the wells. Now, those water from the wells are contaminated. You cannot drink. You can just use them for bathing or washing.
In Shalom Clinic, we face a lot of challenges because people come with a lot of cases, diarrhea cases, mostly in the rain season because of the poor sanitation.
Violence. We face, as pupils, we do face a lot of violence for those others who don't have respect for life.
There is no security in Kanyama because Kanyama is the most populated community in Lusaka, and we have few police stations.
Drug abuse, like it's very common among the youths nowadays. Like anywhere you go, you find that a child is just maybe 13 years and then they're smoking or drinking beer. And then the other thing is that we have junks in our community, whereby you can't just move around freely. You're going somewhere and then you have a phone or money, they'll just rob you and then run away. Sometimes they'll even beat you up. And the other thing is rape cases and defilement in our community. As the girls, we can't move freely, going somewhere because we know that we never know what's going to happen next. You just move from the market to home and then you just find somewhere. They like harm you in any way. If they don't beat you up, they'll rape and kill you. So that's our community is not very much safe for girl children.
As we go around here in Kanyama, we find that people do not dispose their waste in a proper manner, such that you find them all over.
It's a shanty company.
Yeah, pretty much shanty, like You find most houses are close together, of which the disadvantage is that there is easy contact of diseases as people are too close to each other.
So this is the load we used to go through in our days work with our Toyota to pick the children to and from home. At least every 3 months or so, our cars to break down and take it for repairs. When our car breaks down, it means that our children with special education, they will stop coming.
What I like about my community is the enthusiasm that the people have here, hard working, just that.
What I like more about this community is that people work together. Yeah, they work together for their common goal. They know their best.
We are just lacking a number of essentials, such as a number of schools. If we can have more schools, more health centers, more recreation places for our young ones to play. As you move around Kanyama, you find some kids or some boys, girls playing along the roads, playing football, different games. It's not that they want to play along the road. The problem is they have nowhere to go.
Although here in Africa, as in Kanyama, we cannot do well in terms of economic or social status, but we work together, we cooperate.
So coming to school and having a good family and friends is what I like most about my community.
So right now where we are, this is a newly renovated road which leads to Shalom School, Shalom Center, Shalom Phiri. So this one is popularly known Shalom Road. In our setup, most roads in compounds, they don't have specific names. So you name a road according to the destination. We are turning off, going to Shalom Center. Please come with me to Shalom Center. Okay, welcome to Shalom Center, which is full-fledged. Everything is inside there. We have the clinic, the physio, the school, and now the training center and the maternity.
Shalom Center was built in 2008. We started with a small community school in Kanyama, which has become today a big school, grant-aided, which means that it's run in partnership with the Ministry of Education. And we offer education from grade 1 to grade 12.
We have the population of 1,442 learners. Our motto is every learner matter for us.
Our pride is the special education department, which is the largest in Chilanga. We have 73 children with disability enrolled this year, and they are enrolled in different classes. We have both special and inclusive classes.
At the beginning it wasn't very easy, so to find out a child with a disability wasn't easy because they had to go from house to house. Disability is something which some mothers don't accept. So up to now there are some mothers who are still keeping those children in their homes. So we have to work like the policemen to investigate.
We are able to cater for any type of disability. We welcome and we give education to children with intellectual disabilities, visual impairment, and hearing impairment. It means that we are equipped both in terms of infrastructure and teachers to cater for all these disabilities.
Inclusive education is including each and every learner, regardless of the status, the age, and the ability or disability.
These learners, where they come from, in the communities where they live, they don't live amongst themselves with disabilities. They also live with people without disabilities. So for them to have their own education completely, it looks as if they will live in that life for the rest of their lifetime.
We first have to know the ability of the child. What is the child able to do academically? So after assessing the child, we see that the child is able now to be included. Then we inform the administrators and the parents. So it's not a one-day thing. We have to sensitize the learners. From there now, we have also to talk to the same disabled child, for that child to also accept to go to the other side of the school. As a specialist teacher like myself, I have to go with the child. The first day of the child being taken to another class, then from there I'll have to observe how it will be done that day.
The main challenges that we have noticed that the teachers in the inclusive education, those who teach in the mainstream classes, most of them are not specialist teachers. So the learners who are in those classes sometimes find it difficult to cope up with the speed.
So it's very important that after the teachers called the so-called normal teachers taught in an inclusive classroom, it's important that a specialist teacher must have extra time with that child. We call that one remedial work.
They are children like any other child. They can go to school, they can learn, they can interact, they can play with friends.
A child who is included, that child has got that independent living. That child has got that self-esteem. That child has that confidence to believe that if I can also live with others, meaning I'm also able to do what others can do.
We also provide transport for the pupils coming from the special units who cannot make it on their own. So every day we go and pick them up at their place to and from school.
The unit appreciates the work of Africa Corps very much. It's not an easy job, especially the issue of transport.
So far we can say inclusive education is really working. It's really helping us, especially us teachers who did special education. At least everyone now has come to board to help us in helping these children with their special needs. Thank you so much.
In 2011 we built a Shalom clinic, which you can see on my left. It's a small clinic that offers primary health care and is specialized in maternal and child health.
We offer a lot of activities. We have outpatient, that's where every patient that is sick comes to seek health services.
So when a patient comes, they start from outside, they are given their observations, temperature and BP. Then they are brought inside here.
We also offer lab services, and there we have several tests that we do: malaria test, blood test, stool, urine, etc. We also have MCH department. When the mothers come, we screen them. Depending on the time they've come, those who are eligible to get a prevention for malaria, we start them at 13 weeks. They will start getting Fansida, and this Fansida is repeated every after 4 weeks when they come to visit us. We give ferrous and folic acid. This is to prevent anemia.
Again, the idea was prevention of disability, so offering health, especially to mothers and children, as a way to prevent the development of disability in the child.
Under the same MCH, we have postnatal visits. Those who deliver, they come, we check them out after they deliver. We also offer under 5 clinics from day 1 up to 5 years old. And then we give them vaccines to prevent polio, to prevent diarrheas, to prevent pneumonias, measles.
So this is the MCH reception for them. Our mothers, when they come, if they are few, we see them here, then we give them the medication and any other questions that they can ask about the conditions.
The other department is HTS, where they do testing and counseling.
My role as a counselor here is to promote mental health and help people living with challenges in their lives. So here at Shalom we have different activities. We have health education, couple counseling, child counseling, and nutrition counseling. And we also do clinical diagnosis, family planning, and we also do HIV test.
We also offer ARVs to those who are HIV positive. They are given revisits when they come to collect drugs. Those who want to start, those who are just positive, they are enrolled in our care.
So those people, they need patience. It's for your lifetime. It's a process. They are also human beings. They have to think over it. We give them time to go home, think over it, because it's not easy.
The other things that we do is we educate them. We give them health education. We teach them on how to keep themselves when they are pregnant. We tell them the diet that they should take. They prepare themselves psychologically, and we also encourage the husbands to come with their wives as they come to source for this service.
At Africa Core, we have got a physiotherapy department, which is the biggest in Kanyama compound, and we treat about 70 and plus children with disability. Per day we see more than 10 children who comes in the department with their parents, and the physiotherapists have got a duty to teach the parents how to handle their children.
Most of our patients are children with disabilities. And we also have adults. We treat stroke, HCVA, and a variety of conditions, but those two are like the common ones. Our treatment here is basically rehabilitation, which we do in adults. And in children, we do rehabilitation. We teach functions which have never been used before, say sitting, standing, walking. That's basically what we do with kids.
In Kanyama, we also work together with 6 focal points, which are located in different parts of the compound, where we offer on a weekly basis physiotherapy services through mothers who've been trained and have learned the basic skills of physiotherapy. So they are treating children in the community, and also they are training the mothers to make them understand the importance of rehabilitation also at home.
It has not been easy at the beginning, but now I think it has sold itself nicely, and from the services we are giving, I think the mothers have come to understand. They are bringing their children, they are following the timetable we are giving them for school and for the future.
We follow up patients in their homes, those that are unable to reach us here, to like a variety of factors such as long distances. Other children become too old for their mothers to be carried on their backs, and transport as well.
Disability is very rampant in Kanyama due to sanitation problems, due to lack of information. In Kanyama, there are more than 100 children with disability, but Africa Core is the biggest physio department. Thank you. Until next time.
Recently we've embarked in a project of constructing a maternity unit, which is about to open. We hope to officially inaugurate it this year. Also in the health department we work closely with the Ministry of Health.
On maternity we are expecting to start when we have human resource. Currently we received 4 midwives, and when we have enough, we'll kickstart. This is where we'll be receiving our parents from, and after receiving them, they go to the reception where they'll collect their files, and from there they will be sent in the triage room. That's where we'll be screening our patients to know where to take them. When they come from here, they'll be directed either antenatal, labor ward, or postnatal.
This maternity project is the result of an MOU that we signed in 2018 with the Ministry of Health to offer a safe place for mothers to deliver in Kanyama.
Others, those who are ready to deliver, they'll be brought in here. As you can see, we have 4 delivery beds. We have oxygen concentrators and suction machines. And besides each bed, we have lockers. We also have an emergency trolley that will help us in keeping drugs for this room in case of an emergency.
At the moment, only Kanyama First Level Hospital is equipped to offer a safe place for delivery, and it's highly congested. So this maternity ward, which is made of 18 beds and 4 delivery beds, is going to really relieve the stress and the congestion from Kanyama First Level Hospital, and will also make sure that less mother will be forced to deliver from home.
This is antenatal ward. So these mothers will be kept here are the mothers who will be waiting to go in the labor ward. After they deliver, they will be brought on the postnatal ward. The mothers that will be kept here will wait for at least the maximum of 6 hours for them to go home when they stabilize.
The agreement we signed with the Ministry of Health is that we would build and equip the facility, and the Ministry of Health would provide human resources to run it. So we are in a process of finalizing the very last details and receiving the last staff from the Ministry of Health, and then we'll be able to start the operations also of the maternity ward. This year we've started also the construction of a Teveta skills center in agriculture within the same SHALOM Centre. Construction is underway. It's a project that we are implementing thanks to the support of the European Union. And one of the issues that came up after a few years that we've been running the school is what can we do now with the grown-ups. I think it's important to try to offer also some vocational training so that they can acquire skills that will be useful for them to be integrated in the labor market. We are going to offer any type of training in agriculture and poultry. Everything will be accredited with Teveta, meaning that the papers that the students will receive from this center will be officially recognized by the Zambia Certification Authority, and they will be more valuable. There's also a component of promoting the inclusion into the labor market by sensitizing the employers to recruit youth with disabilities, and also the development of job coaches, which are personnel specifically trained to facilitate the integration of the youth with disability into the workplace. So the garden is going to be here. It's about 30 by 20 meters, and then there will be also access to the poultry, which is behind that wall, for the rearing of chicken and other animals, rabbits, and much more to come. Then we have different projects to support mothers of children with disability to encourage economic empowerment. So we have a cooperative of women which is called Tendere Cooperative. It's made up of 30 mothers of children with disabilities. They have a poultry within SHALOM and a garden which is an income generating activity for them. Now and then we also offer courses of different types on financial literacy, adult literacy. We've started a project to promote the commencement of urban gardens with 30 mothers so that they can start their own garden at home. Then of course there's the component of sensitization, so working in the community to fight the stigma against disability, which is probably the main reason why disability rates are so high and why disability is so challenging in Kanyama. There's a lot of misbeliefs and misconceptions around the issue of disability, so it's important to start from the families, the mothers, the fathers, but also the caretakers and the neighborhood to let people understand that disability is just a different type of ability, and that children with disability must enjoy their rights as much as any other child. Just it's a matter of providing that extra support which is needed to promote their inclusion in society.
From the time we started the training for mothers, and the disability rate has reduced.
There's a long way to go for people with disability, not just in Zambia, all over the world, but we believe we can do a lot also in this.
Now, if you talk of SHALOM, we talk of Africa Core in Lusaka, everybody will know where SHALOM is, everybody will know where Africa Core is. Thank you to the sponsors, thank you to the partners. To be where we are today is because of other people who have been coming to help us. Thank you so much.
My future aspirations is to be an engineer. I would love to find means and ways of recycling things.
I see myself as a medical doctor.
For a start, I would first like to be a doctor.
I want to become an engineer so that I can be used in different ways so that I can improve Kanyama.
And then second of all, I would at least love to be a member of parliament.
To reduce violence in this community, so in the next future I'll be a soldier.
Even like further, I would like to become a Minister of Health so at least I improve the health sector of the entire Zambia.
I see myself doing something that is appreciable in this community.
For now, school is the most important thing, so long as I have the privilege to come to school, then that's the most important thing that makes me happy, because at least I have the privilege of coming to school to learn a lot of things which others are unprivileged of.